So is tax week, at least at CoinDesk. We have our next guest is CoinDesk Features and Opinion Managing Editor Ben Schiller, who is in charge of this very ambitious package to tease out some of the complications of crypto taxes. So Ben, you are really doing the Lord's work here because crypto taxes are really, really confusing. So let's just start with a big picture question. Like, what is your big takeaway? You know, you've been getting into the weeds, I'm sure, on all these sort of crypto tax issues. Like, what are some of the big takeaways of tax week? What are things that like people might not know? What surprised you? Just give us like the big picture here.
Well, I think nobody likes taxes to begin with anyway, and then you throw in crypto and all these complicated issues and you have a bit of a minefield, frankly. But it does give us an opportunity to present this package, which is 35 pieces. It's a bunch of guides covering the US, the UK, Canada, India. It's a lot of op-eds from leading tax experts and some feature stories as well. We're really trying to break through that complication and that confusion that people are feeling. And it frankly is a nightmare. I mean, for instance, we're putting out a story today from Jeff Wilser where he spoke to a lot of sort of ordinary folks who've really had a terrible time with their crypto taxes. You know, they've done some trading and they haven't realized that they've needed to withhold some money, and then they've got this huge liability, or they've gotten into issues with new forms of crypto like NFTs, for instance. I mean, just to give you an idea of the confusion, I mean, it's still not clear when you mint an NFT, whether that's a taxable event, which is pretty crazy given the amount of NFT activity that we've seen in the last 12 months. Some other unknowns like around staking, around airdrops, and around gifting. I mean, for instance, if you gift more than $15,000, that's a taxable event. And generally, there's a lot of kind of ways in which you can get into crypto transactions that can be taxable that people are not aware of. So I would really say to people, say to our listeners, say to our readers, please talk to an expert, download some software, of which there is, much better products out there now, and really try and log your trades and really take this seriously, because if you don't, you're frankly going to get screwed.
Ben, good morning. As you mentioned airdrops, and there are a lot of people who made some money with the airdrops. And we have a guide, for instance, that shows what to do, or at least questions to ask when receiving one, and NFTs as well. We have a lot of people made a lot of money this past year over NFTs. So there are a few guides in this as well, correct?
Yeah, there's about 10 actual guides. These are sort of 101s looking at different aspects of taxation, crypto taxation. And as I say, they cover different jurisdictions like the UK and Canada and India, obviously big markets. So yeah, I mean, I would really tell people to check those out.
And then I also think about some sports athletes who began accepting salaries in Bitcoin, such as Odell Beckham Jr. And there have been reports that, since that Bitcoin vested at its highs, and now we see Bitcoin at its lows, Bitcoin is not worth maybe even half of what it used to be worth. So they're actually, having to pay off these liabilities with money they don't even have anymore. Right.
Well, that's absolutely, Blazer case of exactly what we're talking about, and he sort of features in the crypto tax nightmares piece that we're publishing today, which I mentioned earlier. I mean, we don't quite know what was in his contract. It's possible his contract might have said we're going to cover this anyway, i.e. cover the decrease in price, but that's a good example of what we're talking about here, potentially.